talking about his new baby daughter, Madison, born in April. He said, get this, parenting is amazing. I found it really overwhelming. Thing was, having a girl, there will be things she'll go through that I never did. I knew the type of parent I wanted to be with a boy, but there would be a certain discipline with that. Having a girl, that's changed. Being a father of a girl has different challenges. Do we bring up boys and girls differently? Judi, going to start with you.
You know, it's interesting because I've got a boy and a girl, and I suppose there's elements that you think, oh, will you understand? But I suppose a parent just that wants that dad for the dad and the mum for the mum. You know, for me, it's a bit different. I'm a single parent, so, and, you know, and I've got that old school West Indian kind of way where I'm the mother, you're the child. But they know. I'm not that old school where no licks, but I am, you know what I mean? But I've got that in me. But I do find, I think I'm a little bit more harder on my son than I am on my daughter. I think there's different things, you know, with your daughter, you're more worried about, you know, the boyfriends and so on, and with the boys, you're worried about who they're hanging around with, what time they're going to get home and stuff like that. So I find that with my son, I'm very much like, I want him to know that I'm the baddest of bad gal. Do you know what I mean? Like, forget anyone else out there, you got to be frightened of me. Do you know what I mean?
Move my stool.
Yeah, move the stool, brethren. Yeah. You know what I mean? And with my daughter, I find it's, you know, we're both hormones and I see a lot of me in her, so it's trying to navigate in a way where still empowering her, but letting her know, like, I'm the only queen bee in this house. Do you understand what I'm saying?
We understand.
Yeah, you know?
We understand. Yeah. Martin, you've got a boy and a girl as well.
Yeah, I got a boy and a girl as well, and but I think I brought them up slightly different. I brought them up so the idea of I didn't want them to grow up kind of in that atmosphere of parents and kids. I wanted them to grow up as a whole bunch of friends. So the four of us became that bunch of friends, like a little gang, and so we supported each other. So I think what I did was kind of worse. It was psychological terror in the way that I made them feel like they would let me down. And that was my control over them.
Yeah.
In the same way that I think the reason why I wasn't a bad kid at school was because I didn't want to let my mum and dad down. And so I used that. But I think it actually got harder to parent as they got older.
Oh, I think so. Do you worry more about Harley, though, than you do about Roman, just because she's a girl?
No, I didn't, actually. It was the other way around. I used to worry far more about Roman. Because boys have that thing of getting into fights. Right. And that made me worry a lot more, to the point where when Roman started going out, you know, and you know when they start going to the house parties, about 16, 17? Yeah. And Shirley and I would take them, we would drive them to wherever the house party was, and instead of going back home, we would wait there in the car for 4 hours with sandwiches.
Waiting for them to come out. Like,
waiting for them to come out. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, that is so sweet.
Vernon, you're a girl dad.
I am, yeah, 2 daughters.
Did you feel the same as Olly? Or did that never... Did it not occur to you? You just wanted to...
No, it never really occurred to me as a father. You know, the first thing you wish for is a healthy baby and everything's all right. But I think the first thing... When we had 2 daughters, I immediately went to my GCSE Spanish class because I was the only lad of 26 in the class. So there was me and 25 other girls. I learnt a lot as a young teenage boy from that group of girls. So when it came to me being a dad to my daughters, I just thought we've got to be really open, you've got to be brutally honest. And when it comes to those tricky conversations, right next, and, you know, and periods and turning into a woman, they're actually joyful moments which you should celebrate. And I think if you have those conversations earlier, it's a lot easier later on in life because the kids then come to you. You know?
Just looking at all the women's faces, everything Vernon says, they're just going, oh.
A lot of the women at the front are thinking, I wouldn't mind you being my daddy.
It's really true, though, you know, because I grew up in a house where my parents, if we were watching television, like a drama or something, and there were people kissing, all of a sudden, all you could hear is snoring, when my mum and dad would make out they were asleep.
Really? My mum would put her hands over my eyes. Not for you, not for you. I'll try and pierce through.
Obviously, my background was very different because my dad was dressing up as a woman for my childhood, becoming Raquel. But I think that as obviously I've only had 2 boys and I've got a stepson, so I've never known what it's like to parent girls. But I know that my helicopter parenting, as they call it now, has got worse as the kids have got older. It really is driving them mad.
Thank you said that.
It really is, you know. And if my kids don't get back to me... Louis said to me the other day, he said, Mum, If you ring me and I can see you've rung, and then you ring me another 3 times and I haven't answered, do you think, A, he's dead? And I went, yes. that is what I think. It has got almost out of control. The other thing I worried about with boys is girls come back. Girls bring often, certainly in my case, my boyfriend would come to my house. We would go to my mum's for Christmas. And I worried about that. Luckily, because Matty started the band, they were all captive in the garage. So the girlfriends did, you know, sort
you knew
of
where
come.
they were.
I knew where they were. Then of course they went off. But I didn't realise that I had such an open relationship with my kids about sex and those things until I talked to other mums who didn't have that relationship. So I do think it's important. I think it's lovely what you said about things like menstruation, that you celebrate those as momentous coming-of-age type of things.
Yeah, I think that's really important, you know, because they are taboo subjects, unfortunately.
Yeah,
you know,
and those are subjects you need to be having a conversation
100%.
about. But I definitely agree with what you said, Denzi, that, you know, at this stage with my kids being 19 and 14, I've had the worst anxiety I've ever had in my life. It's just...
And you're not an anxiety
No,
person.
it's just because when they're younger, you can keep them in, but when they're older, they're just out and there's no control. But I would say you'd be a great girl, Mum.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I've got a boy grandson now as well.
Worry
I'm
never
desperate for a
disappears,
girl.
does it? The older you get, the more I worry. Like, my daughter, she runs her own successful company. She's out there working every day. But if she comes to stay at my house, I'm like, it's 11 o'clock.
It's 11 o'clock.
You know?
She's not back yet.
Straight away.
Yeah, I think you're always with open arms, aren't you? And then when something's going on, you can see it in their eyes straight away. You just want to do that.
Just want
All the
Come in,
time.
sit down.
All the time. I don't think it's anything that you are prepared for.
Yeah.
The constant emotional attachment to your children. As they get older, it just gets harder and harder.
And it's crazy because you'll never really know how well of a parent you've done until they've grown up into
Believe
adults.
you me, I get told.
Oh, OK.
Our kids know it's chat time when the kettle goes on.
Yes, definitely.
Put the kettle on, we'll have a chat.